Dear friends, welcome to this fourth lecture of cancer diagnosis. Today we will discuss about the different diagnostic testing methodologies practiced in most parts of the world. We'll go through some of the very common procedures of laboratory tests, imaging techniques and biopsy. We'll start the lecture with this note that prevention is always better than cure. You can have the cancer diagnostic available with you, but nothing is better if you can prevent it happening in the first place. So now, why this cancer diagnostics is so much important? Why it is actually necessary? Because it can give you maximum chances if the cancer is diagnosed at an early stage. If cancer is diagnosed at early stage, there is an increased chance of its being cured. There are different guidelines and recommendations by different organizations and medical bodies for screening or diagnosis and procedures. We will we will discuss some of the common tests today. Usually, cancer diagnosis is not the very first thing one has to face when some symptoms are noticed. Looking at the symptoms, the doctor will check whether it is due to cancer or some other health conditions. The doctor will go through the patient's health records as well as family records for cancers. The first screening stage is the physical examination. A doctor may physically examine patient's body or any abnormal growths or lumps indicating a tumor. During a physical exam, doctors usually check for any abnormalities such as changes in skin color or enhancement of the organ, prolonged existence of any wound or infection that may indicate the presence of cancer. The doctor may ask you to go for some lab tests like checking the increase or decrease of certain substances in patient's body fluids like blood or urine. The doctors will check for the presence or absence, up and down regulation of certain biomarkers in the body fluids. Now, to confirm the growth of the malignant cells, the doctor may ask for some tissue biopsy, which involves collection of cells or tissues from the suspected region to check in the or to test or examine in the lab. And also, the doctor will recommend some imaging protocols depending on the cancer type and origin to confirm the presence of the tumor cells in the body. So now first we will talk about lab tests, and one of the main lab tests is the blood test. If not for the other type of cancers, but it is very useful and prompt in detecting blood cancers. CBC, or this complete blood count, is being used to count the number of various types of blood cells. If the number of certain type of blood cell is low or some other type of blood cell is high than normal blood count, then blood cancers may be detected or at least suspected. To further confirm the blood cancer, a bone marrow biopsy may be prescribed. In most of the other cancers, a blood test cannot be an absolute confirmation for the presence of cancerous cells, but it can at least give an indication that something is going wrong inside the body. The next type of blood test is the estimating the different proteins present in the patient's blood. So the blood protein testing, it is usually done by electrophoresis to count for various proteins in the blood samples collected from the patient. Now this may vary, and it can actually it is actually very useful to and facilitate the detection of certain abnormal immunoglobulins that are elevated in multiple myeloma. A bone marrow biopsy can be used to confirm this particular diagnosis. Uh, Then, as we all know that the markers, the tumor markers, which can be a very useful tool for the detection process. We have discussed it in the other lectures. You can go through those lectures to know more detail about the tumor markers. Now there is one more thing that we can check beside the nucleic acid or the protein biomarkers, which are the circulating tumor cells, or in short the CTC. So these are the cells that have broken away from an original cancer site and are circulating in the blood. So what is happening in CTC is that after the blood collection, the presence of the tumor cells are examined by the cytologists along with the pathologist, and then the reports are being prepared. Although not practiced widely in the clinics, but it has been found to be correlated with tumor progression and staging as well. The only FDA approved CTC is the Cell Search CTC, which is used for screening breast, colorectal and prostate cancers. Biopsy, as we have already defined it, as procedure to remove a sample of the tissue and then examine in the lab for the abnormal cells. There are various ways to collect the cells, and it depends on the type and location of the cancer in the patient's body. For needle biopsy, doctors uses needle to collect tissues, mainly used for bone marrow biopsies. For other cancer cases like breast, prostate, liver, muscle, it is also used as a diagnostic tool. Then the endoscopy. Here the doctor uses the endoscope, which is a tube fitted with a camera inserted inside the body through either through the mouth or anus. And the purpose is to view inside the body, and if something found wrong, the tissue of that region is collected via the endoscope itself, and then it is examined in the lab, like the colonoscopy or the bronchoscopy if you have heard about it. The next one is the surgical biopsy. Here the surgeon removes the abnormal cells for examination, and it can be excisional as well as the incisional. As the name suggests, the excisional biopsy removes most of the tumor tissue, including some surrounding non-tumor mass, whereas the incisional biopsies are done to remove a part of the tumor mass. Some biopsies require sedative to relax the area and to insensitize the patient during the surgical procedure. Next, the imaging techniques. Diagnosis with imaging technique. It is a very powerful method to examine inside the patient's body in a non-invasive way. That is, without inserting any medical instruments within the patient's body. Imaging is for generating pictures of the affected internal organ and then check for the presence of the tumor cells. Images can be taken in several ways, as for example, CT scan, nuclear scan, bone scan, ultrasound, magnetic resonance imaging or the MRI, PET scan and X-rays. The X-rays, as we'll be discussing it now, these are the radiations which can pass through most soft tissues of the body, except the bones and some calcified areas, dense matters inside the body like the tumors. These parts of the body will absorb the radiation and then give a white light, give a whitish or a light appearance on the X-ray film. This is the most easiest to detect and it is less painful to the patients. The next is the CT scan. CT scan or computerized tomography. It uses a combination of two procedures, X-ray and computer, to create pictures. It is absolutely painless and it is very fast. Here, the X-ray beam is used to capture a series of images from different angles of the affected region. This process will create a two-dimensional image like the cross-sectional image under the microscope. Now, several such 2D images or the image slices can be stacked upon with the help of the computer to create a detailed image of the affected region. And many times the patient will receive a dye which will give more contrasting, like highly contrasting images, which will help or facilitate the doctor to view the images and uh, form the conclusions. Next is the nuclear scan. Nuclear scan is the imaging technique by using the radioactive substances. It is used to detect the cancer stage or the tumor regression or progression. What happens here is that a dose of a radionuclide, or which is known as the tracer, is given to the patient either orally or intravenously. The tracer then spread throughout the body and accumulate in different parts of the body. For a specific tumor, a particular tracer may be highly absorbed by the tumor, hence the accumulation of that tracer will be more in the tumor cells, from where the radiations will be emitted more, that can be captured by the gamma camera or the scanner and shown as hotspot in the image. Or it can be the other way. If the concentration of radionuclide are low in the tumor, it will emit less radiations as captured by the camera and shown as cold spot. Now, this type of scan one can have will depend on the affected organ. Example, bone scan, PET scan, thyroid scan, multi-gated acquisition scan, and gallium scans. Bone scans for cancers spread to bones. The tracer will be collected in the bone and imaged. PET scans usually take the advantage of high metabolic rate of the cancers and done with the radioactive sugar. The sugar here, it is the tracer. It will be accumulated more inside the cancer cells depending upon the high metabolic activity of the cancers, and that will show up in the image. PET CT scans, where PET scans are combined with the CT scans to display more accurate and detailed image. Thyroid scans are done with the radioactive iodine as a tracer and used to screen thyroid cancers. Multi-gated acquisition scans are used to check cardiac functions. It is not a direct imaging technique for the cancer, but it is actually a RBC specific tracer is used to track the flow of the blood through the heart before and after a chemotherapy session, just to make sure that the patient's body is able to sustain the chemotherapy, yes or no. Then the gallium scans are done with the gallium-67 as a tracer, which tends to accumulate within the inflamed organs. Next is the ultrasound. Ultrasound scans, they uses high energy sound waves. These are the sounds which we cannot hear, but these waves hits the tissues and reflects or echoes back, and these echoes can be detected by special devices and translate them into images with the help of computers, and that will give you the sonograms, what we call the ultrasound images. So it can even capture the blood flow through the blood vessels. It is very sophisticated. It is useful in capturing images of soft tissues which X-rays cannot capture, and tumors will. And most important part here is that different parts of the tumors or different types of the tumors will give you different echo patterns. So that is most useful part of the ultrasound. So, after the cancer is diagnosed with any of the techniques or their combinations mentioned before, the doctor may prescribe for some more confirmatory lab tests and plan for the treatments. But prior to the determination of cancer, but prior to that, Determination of the cancer staging is very important so that more specific and effective treatment can be provided. Hence, after the diagnosis, the doctor will work on determining the stage of cancer, which we will discuss in the next lecture. So far, we have discussed about the conventional diagnostic tools for cancer screening and detection. Hope you have learned something and enjoyed it. See you in the next lecture on cancer staging. Thank you.